Four-time Stanley Cup champion Darren McCarty, the golden voice of Neal Ruhl, and the iconic Terry Foster. Sit back and relax. It's time for your daily dose of Big D energy.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Big D Energy right here on the Woodward Sports Network. My name is Neal Ruhl. I found this guy walking around outside. Figured I'd bring him in. D-Mac, Darren McCarty here in the house.
I was a little lost, but now I'm found.
We got Sam Flannel. We got Spencer Raxter here as well. The whole squad is back together. We are ready to rock. D-Mac out there in the business community yesterday.
I was doing some stuff. You know, when you watch those football games and those commercials around Super Bowl time, you know, I always end up, beside Barry Sanders, which is always a good thing. I don't know how the hockey guy ends up behind the football guy, but I don't question it. So, yes, I was out yesterday, looked for the new Sam Bernstein commercial with a bunch of your favorite Detroit sports legends that come out Super Bowl time against. So, yeah, we were doing that. That was a lot of fun. I really enjoy doing that. And it's a surprise, a little bit of a twist, and bringing in a little... We're culturing it this year. It's not as serious.
Okay.
I didn't have to bring my stick.
All right, there you go. So happy to have all of you with us. Tap in on the woodwardsports.com chat thread as well. Appreciate having everybody in there. We'll get to your thoughts. And, there's some discussion, I guess, around... Well, number one, we talked about this yesterday on the show. Stick owes me dinner.
Oh, he does.
Because the Golden Grizzlies put that work in yesterday.
Yeah.
And beat Detroit Mercy. Antoine Davis, Sam Flannel.
What happened?
Season low, 14 points, 3 of 16 from the floor. Got clamped by Rocket Rocket.
That's about as bad of a game as you can have. I mean, can you get any worse than like high volume, low efficiency? I don't think so.
But is that what we're talking about? Because you brought up the name Rocket Watts and whatever like this, and every time did you see a different level, like him step up to the game?
Yeah.
We talk about a shutdown game. We talk about this is one of the matchups coming in. Is this like of the games throughout the whole year?
Well, this is where I was disappointed in Spenny because he was holding back on me, man. I didn't know when it's a big level opponent, Emoni Bates, Antoine Davis, Rocket Watts puts the clamps on folks, man.
Oh,
yeah. He does. And, I know, like, him leaving Michigan State and stuff like that, the Michigan State fans, but for the most part, they still like them. I saw Rocket Watts jerseys when we were there at Breslin. But just wanted everybody to know that, Stick put the wager out there for dinner.
What are you going for?
I don't know. We'll see.
You're not a big eater, so you might make sure they have a large bourbon selection.
A very diverse bourbon selection. He's not going to
get you
well.
with the porterhouse stick. He's going to get you with the
with the 18-year.
Yes, there it is. Whatever that thing is, I'm not supposed to know.
Right. Absolutely. But, so there is that. Glad to have D-Mac back in here as well. We'll get to the Dylan Larkin thing. We're starting to hear numbers. This is getting real out there in the streets, D-Mac. You're starting to hear the numbers.
It's not real. I'll wait.
Okay.
I'm gonna wait, but there's a couple things, and when you maneuver, and I guess you sit here, Neal, and go, I'm gonna have to hold the pit bulls back from the Detroit Lions and everything else. Well, guess what? It looks like I got your chain too, because I got something I have to teach everybody about the Yzerplan again.
1919. Pete Smith. Who's that guy subbing for the 4-time Stanley Cup champion Sam Flannel from Montreal?
Oh, yeah. Oh, hey, little treat. Tomorrow you might want to stick in. We have a big treat. We'll announce later for tomorrow's show.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll see how things shake out. Alicia says, "Woohoo! Let's go Grizz!" Lots of Detroit Mercy slander in the chat as well. I'm always down for that. I won't read it, Spenmo, but I'll read it internally.
Read it internally.
You know what I'm saying? That is our Michigan State, though.
That's fair.
Because it's deeper. It's deeper than that game.
Yeah.
It's how Detroit got in the Horizon League. There's some back channel stories to it. Detroit was not a fan of Oakland getting in the Horizon League, and now we see why.
Yeah. Because they're getting clapped every time.
You can draw your own conclusions.
Yep.
You can look at the scoreboard and draw your own conclusions. But we have some NHL Red Wings discussion to get into, a couple Lions questions as well, where you're at with a couple of the players. There's some Aaron Rodgers chatter, and I'm kind of disappointed by it.
Yeah, Aaron Rodgers chatter of he might get traded. That somebody's going to pick up that contract.
Yeah, but see, the thing about it is, if it happens, I am all right with it because my hate for Aaron Rodgers is deeper than Aaron Rodgers. It's because of what he represents with the Packers and all that. The hatred is for the Packers, overridingly.
Oh, it is?
Yes. Back to Brett Favre. That time Brett Favre stole half of Barry Sanders' MVP award.
I wonder if that's universal, because I think that my hatred towards Aaron Rodgers, that if he does leave Green Bay, that I have a different respect for Green Bay. I can honestly say that Green Bay is my second favorite team in the North. Then Chicago and Minnesota would be the worst. But I think that the Aaron Rodgers leaving, to me, takes it away. And it sounds like it's opposite for you. You hate them more for what they've done.
Because I love it, because what he does, and nobody's talking about this, because I'm convinced some of the media around town don't know that contracts exist and salary figures happen and there's ramifications. That big-ass signing bonus he got last year, that accelerates, and that all comes due the following year that you trade him, the following season.
Right, so whoever picks him up is what has to pick up the salary.
No. The Packers have to accelerate the bonus. The check that the Packers gave him, they're responsible for against their cap.
So you're getting the best of both worlds.
110%.
You're the best.
Because here's what it is.
Traded.
I do hope he gets traded, because what that does to the Green Bay Packers organization is when they trade him, that bonus he got, that accelerates. The Packers are responsible for the check they wrote. So that's the fire. And then I get to come by, take a hit of the cigarette, and flick it right on there, and then turn and walk away in slow motion as the building explodes. And I just get to do it.
I guess the question is, what puts the Packers in a worse position? If he stays, if he goes, if he retires? If he retired, that would really screw them.
Yes. For me personally, if I could pick a scenario, I would say retirement. Because then I don't have to hear about his colon cleanses anymore, no matter where he goes. And we'll only hear about him more. And we'll only hear about the greasy hair. And yes, people, I'll cut you off at the pass. You want to drop some Aaron Rodgers hate there in the chat thread? We'll do it. I'll do it.
Yeah, hey, isn't that, see?
6 minutes, speed round.
And you know what? That's why I think it carries, Neal. How many segments have you got out of just asking people, and it's built in itself, and it's been organic and naturally of people really hate Aaron Rodgers. It's not the Green Bay Packers, it's Aaron Rodgers.
See, and for me, it's the Green Bay Packers, then Aaron Rodgers.
And I get that. I do get that, and it goes, I guess, how deep does the wound cut?
Right.
But so are we, as Lions fans, looking at this division, looking at Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers? We're just eating popcorn, right?
Oh, yeah.
Sitting here going, wow, whatever happens. It's like fireworks. What's the finale going to be? Right? What's the finale?
Right.
How much did they spend on the finale? So we'll see. Hopefully it benefits, but I like to hear that.
Yeah, I do. And on the WoodwardSports.com chat thread, Chuck Brewer says, Neal, they'll have a rookie contract, though. They'll make it work under a rebuild. But see, the year of pain, Chuck, he's at almost $100 million dead cap hit next year. So if they trade him, that signing bonus that they gave him, which was $41 million, the $102 guaranteed at the signing, the unpaid part of that, well, I mean, they paid it all. That's why they're going to be responsible for it all. That accelerates onto next year's cap. So you're talking 70-ish million that will count against their cap and dead cap. It destroys their franchise for the year. Destruction. They're dead. The Green Bay Packers are dead for next year. For next year, they would be dead financially. And if you're dead financially, guess what? You're dead in reality, too.
If I'm looking at it from the 30,000 or bigger picture, they trade Aaron Rodgers, it implodes them for the year, but they can probably get out of and back to norm, so to speak, better by trading him. Right? Because then it just boom, you get nuked for the season, you're done, you're screwed, but then you can start coming out from underneath of it?
Yeah, well, and John Supa says, Neal, I want him to stay so we can finally torture the Packers and they won't get draft assets. And that's why, John, for me, it's my preferred outcome would be for him to retire. Because I gave you all the winning scenarios. A, I don't have to see his greasy hair. B, I don't have to worry about hearing about his colon cleansing trips, or colon cleanses, his peyote trips to the mountains and hallucinations for a week and all that kind of stuff. I don't have to hear about that either. I don't have to hear how Gandhi, as you call them. I don't have to hear the Gandhi philosophical discussion on the McAfee show anymore. So that goes away, number one. Number two, he doesn't have to play anymore. So I don't have to hear about it during the season and him say relax when they're 0-3, because they always are every single year when he throws 3 interceptions against the Saints and they lose by 50. I don't have to hear about that anymore either. You also destroy the Packers financially, so that's good. So that's the most win-win, John. I'm with you. I don't want the Packers to get back assets. Not that he would command a ton. See, people are thinking like in this Stafford world, right, of trades and things like that. He's going to be 40 next year. 40. This isn't Stafford, man. It's not the same. He's not going to command the same. His salary cap number is huge. So you got to think about it from that perspective. It hurts the market value. But at the same time, John, I'm with you. I don't want the Packers to get anything out of this except financial pain. Am I petty? Yep. D-Mac, I've always looked you right. I've always looked you right in the eye. I've looked that camera right in the eye and said I'm built like that.
Like this one, this is a hill. The Aaron Rodgers sort of Packers hill is one that you will die.
I will draw the sword.
You'll draw the sword on pettiness.
I'll draw the sword on the hill, and I'll do the William Wallace.
So will your audience.
Yeah, I'll do the William Wallace Terminator thing too, where you pre-cut your chest a little bit so you start bleeding a little bit. I would do that too.
You know what? And
face paint, the whole thing.
WoodwardSports.com chat thread. Good friend of the show, friend of mine. Friend of yours, Rake, asked, and it got me to thinking. He asked, Aaron Rodgers, where would I put him? Because I have a match with Combat One, and I just cut a scathing press release from this very seat last week. And you know what? Aaron Rodgers is so much cooler after Neal all said all those things, and he's so much cooler than Kyle Barrett. So, and that's all it is, Rake. I mean, even Aaron Rodgers, as much as that Neal hates him, Jockstrap Cletus is a worse person than that. Like, all those things are just choices that he makes, right? Choices that he makes. Hopefully Aaron Rodgers makes the right choice, right? And it leaves the Green Bay Packers in ruin. Like, I'm going to make the right choice and end Kyle Barrett, Chinstrap Jesus, Jockstrap Cletus, his life. Rick, hope that answered your question.
I do have, I'll break the news to the chat, I guess. They're asking where Terry is. It is Tuesday, and Terry's normally not here on Tuesday, but he will not be with the show. He is taking over the blogging and the writing aspect of Woodward Sports, and he'll be the number one fill-in guy for different things. So you'll still see him around, but he's not going to be on the show on a daily basis.
Yeah, in terms of like the full-time-ish capacity. Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, still a part of the network, still around,
still here.
Just kind of moving into a different role / keeping the same role, I guess you could say. So
hey, Neal, we just explain before we go on. Dave says Rodgers' cap hit for 23 is $31 million. For 24, it's 24. Not bad numbers for a team making a deal.
No. The cap hit.
Please explain that, because you can't.
Yeah. The cap hit, yes, is not bad. But the dead cap, because the bonus has been paid. And guys, I think it's a good time to step into this right now. I'll do this real quick before we cut to the break, just to let everybody know. Because you may see this employed by the Lions with Jared Goff. Go ahead, sigh, Spenny. You may see the Lions run this trick with Jared Goff, where if they want to tack on a year or tack on 2, put it up front as a signing bonus, and then that way you can stretch that number out. The whole cash over cap thing that we've talked about in the past, where you pay up front, but the bill comes due later. So you say you give a $40 million signing bonus for a 4-year extension. Your cap hit is $10 million a year, but you paid $40 right then. So if you retire or you trade said athlete, that money that you paid out already accelerates. It's no longer a $10 million cap hit for 4 years. It becomes one $40 million cap hit due at time of delivery. And that's the thing with the Aaron Rodgers thing. That's why the dead cap thing is so big, because the signing bonus has been paid. That's why I didn't understand what the Packers were doing. I mean, I did understand what they were doing because they're trying to stretch it out so they can stay competitive for as long as possible. But you know who you're getting in bed with.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of times in sports, it's sort of like looking down. They figured that was 3 years down the line. The bill wasn't due. A lot of things is deferring it down the line, whether it's contracts or
we're going to see this with the Rams. We're seeing it already, guys. Like other people that come on these media shows and the media people you see around town, they're like, the salary cap's not real. Okay. Ask the Packers if it's real when they got to trade Aaron Rodgers. Ask them. Ask Sam Flannel about Swiss Insurance. He'll tell you that too.
Oh, I absolutely will. Be sure to check with Swiss Insurance this week for your commercial insurance review. Many businesses choose a January 1st effective date. Swiss can help make sure you have the proper coverage. Swiss Insurance, give us a shot and you won't be disappointed. Email them at mark@swissins.com. That is mark@swissins.com.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
By now you know me, Christina Gennari, as the obvious choice in real estate. And you know my website, soldchristina.com, as your #1 resource for buying or selling your home. Myself, along with my amazing staff, pride ourselves on making your home buying and selling experience a relaxing and easy one. Come see why we are the obvious choice. Christina Gennari at soldchristina.com, the obvious choice in real estate.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991? Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Off and running here, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Rockstar here with you. All of you guys in the woodwardsports.com chat thread as well. That thing's lighting up like a pinball today. Happy to have you all along for the ride. Stephen Baffey, we're kind of talking about Aaron Rodgers right now, but we have to talk more contracts because I want to get into this Dylan Larkin thing with D-Mac. Stephen Baffey, if he retires before June 1st, the dead cap is $99 million and change. Correct. There is a bit of a breather if he retires after June 1st. Yeah, about 75-ish, 76-ish million, something like that. Whatever. The end result's the same. That's a fireball to that organization. That's already, I mean, think about it this way, too. Who couldn't they keep? Devontae Adams. So they've already felt the effects of this. Now imagine this fireball coming in. Just boom! I would love it. I would love it.
So, Neal, what's the time frame on this, and when do you sort of expect
my guess would be it would be after June 1st that this
so
would officially
it's sort of
go down.
Stuff that's in the ether and everybody moving around, but it's not something that has to be done apparently sometime in the near future.
Yeah, that's getting hammered out now. If that trade stuff is true, all this stuff is getting worked out now, and then you just wait for the calendar. And then June 1st happens, and then, boom, you announce the trade, and away you go. It's just the moral of the story is that's it for the Green Bay Packers, and I love it. I love it, and they will be destroyed. Contracts taken over. It's a contract Tuesday. It is Tuesday, right? Yes. It is a contract Tuesday
from
here.
a guy who got back from Vegas last weekend. Nicely done, by the way, sir.
Thank you.
Very proud of you.
Thank you.
I think not only by the way that you stretched out your time, you utilized every minute to your advantage and took advantage of what you know.
Absolutely.
You know what you know.
You go to the well.
If anybody has not seen, go on Neal Ruhl, his Twitter account, and you might see spreading a little
the fan of the money,
baby.
Right?
Fanning
Absolutely.
some dough.
Yeah,
I love to hear it. Speaking of money, let's talk money.
Our guy Jamal Hill, by the way.
Oh,
we're getting him on the show.
Oh, yeah.
GR, James Grayer.
Yeah.
That's another great assassin.
Yeah,
Just building assassins, James Earl Grey.
Yeah, we are. But anyway, let's talk. Let's talk Dylan Larkin. I've heard some things, and again, I'm not an insider. I'm not in the room. I don't know Dylan Larkin's agent, none of that stuff. I have heard some numbers being discussed right now. And D-Mac, let me tell you what I heard. You tell me what you know, and then we can kind of volleyball.
First of all, when it comes down to this, I mean,
just in
I'm
general media talk.
Yzerplan in 1919, but now we're talking about sensitive stuff.
Right.
So I have another saying. Don't
to
tell
count
me
another
what,
men's, yeah.
Tell me who. So it's very important when you start throwing out numbers. Like it's like this guy said this guy said that, right?
It is.
Because when you're telling me this, you're saying that Steve Yzerman has a saying in this. Now, you brought there's two sides to this. Dylan Larkin's agent, is this something that could be? But the fact is that I do not think that. I think this is more of the speculation. And like I said earlier on, so you tell me the numbers, and so if it's 8 years,
which is what the camp allegedly is looking for, 8 years at $9 million per.
But did I not hear term? Okay, so these people, whoever it is, right? Term wasn't an issue. It was annual average salary,
correct.
Right? Where if I'm reading it correctly, the Wings want to offer 8 and Dylan's camp wants 9.5.
Correct.
Okay, Neal, let me ask you this. Is that out of the norm for any time if we take the name off the back, the team off the front, right, and leave the C on the jersey, right? Is that not usually when it comes down to a contract time, if you take it out of this, that every GM, that's usually the ballpark of what you're talking to re-sign your long-term, your captain, and the deal that's his biggest deal of his career, right? It's not out of line, right? Most teams in the salary cap era have to deal with this, and usually it comes from one of your leaders and your captain. Does it not?
No, absolutely.
Absolutely. Right? So I'll let you throw whatever you want at me. The bottom line, and the away fan, he says this, right? But it's almost got two meanings to me. Because he says, you know that Steve Yzerman, his nickname is Silk. Smooth as silk. Right? And the away fan says, we will just, it's his nickname for a reason, we will just hear about it out of nowhere. He's implying we'll just hear the contract will be done out of nowhere, right? But I also use it as, so you're hearing all these numbers out of nowhere. My bottom line is, unless I hear it from the man himself or whatever else, like, there's a plan in place. Yes. What do you think that it is? Right now, I think it's easier said than not that it's going to be somewhere around 8.5.
And that's where it comes out too. And that's why when I hear these numbers, when I hear like media entities roll with these numbers or proposed numbers, those do get out. And you know who provides those? The people that want that number to increase.
Yeah, but here's the whole
D-Mac, that's the way this stuff
thing
works,
you have
man.
to understand in the why. It's not just the wiser, it's the Yzerplan.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I'm talking about the Larkin camp.
No. I know the Larkin, but here's the one thing that you do not want to do, and it's not like with Steve Yzerman, right? Out of anybody else, when you walk around, and I don't care if you do not tread with respect, right? No matter what it is, who you're dealing with, that karma comes back to get you in the long run. This isn't the piss. This is the pissing contest that I expect out of the Bertuzzi and the Bertuzzi camp. I think, to me, anyways, until I hear different.
And you've been constant with that. You've said it.
Is there a bigger Larkin supporter, right?
Then you know.
No, I'm a soldier to whoever the captain is, right? You know what I'm saying? It's just the way that D-Mac rolls, and I will
100%.
But I will be honest and I will be forthcoming, right? And the fact that this isn't even smoke. This isn't even like I'm reading all this stuff yesterday and not even in, and it's guys, why are you getting so worked up about this right now, right? Like I said before, and I'll say it, let's just sit back And listen, research it. But who'd you hear it from? Tell me, give me somebody that said this, right? Because at the end of the day, what will Steve Yzerman do? He will come out and tell you exactly what he's going to do or why he's going to do it or why he did what he did.
Right. And people are talking about that. Alex Haggerty says this very well. If Stevie Y gives him $8 million, then that's what he's worth. The captain is still in the I can do no wrong realm. And look, guys, you guys know my thoughts on this, right? I weigh in a little differently than D-Mac does. And I get where he's coming from, and I can understand why he has that opinion. I can understand why the people have the opinion they do. For me, you guys know how I roll with this. The salary cap, that is your arsenal in a fight. That is the most prized possession to me, because those are your tools to make your team good. We saw it, right? Is this team improved this year? They're improved from last year. Absolutely,
and here's the one thing.
And why are they?
Mike G, I love you to death, brother. But he says, away fan, just for a bit. If Larkin skates, no pun, we are in rebuild mode yet for another 3 years. Here it is, guys. I'm going to tell you right now, okay? What have I always said? When Dylan Larkin is your 2C, right, and he's the leader of this team, and you have a 1C.
It's time to roll.
Right? That's when you're going to roll. So, in Steve Yzerman, and this is Darren McCarty, taking the way that he was raised at the same table as I'm looking at my, okay, what does it look like right here? Well, it looks like, right, that the Larkin, the Bertuzzi, whatever he's got, so if he's going to re-sign Dylan for a long-term commitment, he still knows that he's got to put the 1C in there for the 1C money. That's where everybody else falls into place. Now, God forbid, right, that this doesn't work out because the Larkin and Yzerman are on two different pages. Will Steve Yzerman move on from Dylan Larkin? 100%.
And there it is.
100%.
And there it is.
%. Look at me straight in my face right now. Whatever is best for this organization. I, Darren McCarty, 4-time Stanley Cup champion, believe that Dylan Larkin is the next one to raise the cup. But I could be wrong. I was a soldier in the Army. The guy running the show, leading the way, that he proved it, right, has a full grasp. So, for your sanity, right, listen, dig into it, dive into it, but don't get locked into it. Because, again, right now it doesn't matter. And you know what? It's the big decisions that are made right now that will, to Mike's point, affect you moving forward for 3 years. But that plan is in place to go after that 1C. Why draft capital salary cap guy? Because what is in the war chest?
A ton of cap space.
A fucking shit ton. Not a ton, a shit ton. Thank you, Darren McCarty. Darren McCarty 4. Catch me on Twitter. I go off all night.
Well then, I do want to take a dive. Someone was asking about other centers and things like that. You know, we're not just going to stop there. Let's take a look around the landscape, shall we? We'll do that after I tell you about Planet Fitness, the official studio sponsor of Woodward Sports and also home of the Judgment Free Zone, where you can work out for just $10 a month. You can also upgrade to the Black Card. You basically own Planet Fitness at that point. Unlimited guest privileges, access to over 2,000 Planet Fitni around the world, the hydro massage, all of it. You can join today in club. You're going to pass a couple on the way home, or jump on that computer. Go to planetfitness.com right now, because it is Planet Fitness, Mr. Darren McCarty.
It's Planet Fitness, where the Yzerplan is in full effect in your fitness. Your fitness is essential.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
At work and at home, we're there with smarter security solutions. Featuring complete automation with customized alerts and more. For over 90 years, we've been the company that's been counted on to protect what matters most, all with personalized service and care. Right now, for a limited time, receive a free video device plus free installation with a new home system. Guardian Alarm. We protect Michigan.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Anything going on today? Welcome back. Woodward Sports Network, Big D Energy, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty. He's coming in hot on a Tuesday. Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter, all of you, woodwardsports.com chat thread as well. Kool-Aid Kid says D-Mac must have got cut off in traffic this morning or something. So
I walk 3 miles uphill and 3 miles uphill.
Tammy Chin says Darren is passionate about his Red Wings. You know what's funny, D-Mac, is like you as a player and you won and stuff like that. You've signed a lifetime contract with your life for this organization, haven't you?
When I was like 7 years old.
Yeah.
No, it goes way back. It goes back to why was I a Red Wing fan? Because I grew up so close, but because everybody else was Toronto and Montreal and they were winning and it just, you know, the real flex of it is this. I was bought off, right? My uncle, right, my cousin were the Red Wings in the 80s and the late 70s when they used to fly in Canada, used to fly to Windsor Airport. My uncle and my cousin worked baggage. So I'd be using like Tim Higgins sticks, NHL sticks when I was 10 years old. I mean, an NHL stick and a regular hockey stick, especially back in the day, even when they were Woodward, like just, you felt like a god. So the fact that I was getting sticks when I was 10 years old, I was a diehard Wings fan, even though they sucked. And then a guy named Steve Yzerplan came to the team since 11. So I just call it the way I see it. Everybody can have their fandom. It's just that I'd hate for you. I don't want to have to say I told you so. I don't want to have to, like, all this stuff about what's on the horizon, but it's the guys that are building it. And you know the best thing is, because I have this lifelong commitment to this team, right, because I play and because I'm a fan and stuff like this, is that I know when I can ignore it. What did I tell you? This is like catching the subways in in New York right now, right? Oh, I'm on this one. This one, I don't want to be on this one. I'm going to walk the street for another. Oh, there's another one to catch here. On and off, because now is not the time. Next year, what have I sat here and said? This year they get the last of the free pass, where I hope that at the end of the regular season they're fighting for the two. They got to win the game against Ottawa and Chicago to get in the playoffs, right? That's a bonus. Does it look like we're going to get there? Doesn't look like it, but there's still might be a chance. But next year's playoffs, or else there are questions to be asked. And the questions to be asked is, did he re-sign the right guy? Did he spend the right money? All these questions to Steve Yzerman that he isn't Teflon from, but it's not the time. That's all it is. The timing of it isn't right. Let's just see what he does. And I say, let's just see what happens coming up to the trade deadline. Even to what I see in the Woodward Sports chat, there some people say, do you think there's going to be a move before the All-Star break? I don't know. Maybe everything's on the table, but in the Yzerplan 1919, we trust.
This would work with Spenny, I feel like. I don't know if it'll work with Dylan Larkin, but Mike G says, I'll buy Larks a 3-piece meal from Lee's Fried Chicken if he'll stick around. You'd sign a lifetime deal for that, wouldn't you?
Yeah, that would make me stick around, that's for sure. I'll say
at least for 15 minutes.
At least for 15 minutes, yeah. I'd do something. They'd get something out of me. Maybe a couple goals.
No, but so it's interesting. And all right, so we see how DMAC approaches this, right? Now let's step over and see how I'll approach this, because this is what it is. And this year's in the books, and this is just for a frame of reference. Connor McDavid, obviously, is the highest paid center, $12.5 million. Austin Matthews, about 11.6. You go down the list. Boy, Anze Kopitar, I need his agent. He's still getting $10 million a year. Jack Eichel is making $10 million a year from Vegas. Barkov in Florida. I'm a big Barkov slacker.
Yes.
If he
that's the Russian tank.
Yeah. If he were anywhere else, but he's got to be in South Florida because that's how he rolls, I'm sure. But if he were, in Toronto or New York, man, you would know who that dude is.
No, that's the guy that'd be, if you let me pick off anybody else's roster as a 1C that can play 30 minutes as a centerman. kid's got a freaking air tank on his back.
Oh my God. Make that one. Make
He's
that
a real
one.
deal.
Maybe he. Oh,
you don't know. He
No, we'll save
might
this for
be
later.
the guy that you don't know that you should know.
absolutely. Maybe one of the more underrated dudes in the NHL. Maybe things don't work out for them. You know, they made that big Tkachuk trade. Their draft capital strapped. It's not working out right now. They've turned it around a little bit, but hopefully it implodes.
Well, you know what? They're putting all that money in, obviously signing Tkachuk and going for it now.
They're
There
going for
has
it,
to
yeah.
be a when the levee breaks moment, and maybe that's.
They don't have a first-round pick for the next 3 years. But anyway,
Is
we're
that
not on
all
it.
Barkov is?
Barkov is, since you asked, I can find out. He's 27.5 right
So
now.
that, you know what? But in all reality, Neil, that's a guy in a
Your
few
one- your
years. when
1C
we're talking about
perhaps?
the Matthews and the McDavids, but you know that for 10, that's a guy that I think you could look to, and he's still young, and he's played. What did he come in the league when he was 12?
Yep. 12. So just again, this is just frame of reference. Braden Point. All right, here's a good entry path. Braden Point's $9.5 million. Sidney Crosby's still $8.7 million.
But that's the deal.
Stamkos is
That's
8.5.
the Sidney Crosby, like the established to whatever like this. So you're 8.7.
But see, here's the other problem. Draisaitl from Edmonton is 8.5.
Yeah, but he's going to 11.
Yeah, well, he's
Or did he lock
he's
in?
locked up till age 29.
Okay, well, Uncle Kenny, locked. But so you got right there.
You see what I'm saying, though?
So
This is the
but
waters.
right there, Draisaitl, McDavid, right? McDavid's at 12. Draisaitl's at 8.5, right? So you see how they're doing it. So there is room for an 8.5 and a guy bigger than that, even to the most in the league, right? That's all I'm saying. Is like 8.5 isn't. It's sort of where he should be at.
Yeah, and I don't bring this up to nitpick and compare Larkin to to whoever you want to compare to. I don't do that. I'm not here for that because those contracts are signed. I'm here to talk about Larkin's value because in the end, D-Mac, like through all the hometown stuff and all the local stuff, the value has to make sense. Steve Yzerman's proven that. Love his free agent moves.
The value's got to make sense to Steve Yzerman.
Right. Absolutely.
That's the sentence that you have to make. As much as we say but the value has to make sense to Steve Yzerman and his team. I'm just trying to say, like, there is a team out there that has their second line guy at $8.5 million, and another guy that gets the league.
Draisaitl's kind of an extreme.
Draisaitl should be making more, but what I'm saying is your second guy can be $8.5 million.
Yeah.
Forget the name. Forget the fact of whatever else. What I'm saying is you can have an $8.5 million guy and a 10.5, 11.5.
Yeah, so I look ahead till next year, right? Because that's maybe a little more telling. All of a sudden, Nathan McKinnon becomes the highest paid center, above Connor McDavid at 12.6. So we see where this is going. So you know what, D-Mac? And I looked at it, and I've kind of relented a little bit. Because as we sit today, do I feel like he is an $8 million a year player? I do not. However, I got to think about it deeper than that. Like, I'm sure somebody who has a role with the Red Wings that's pretty high up that'll decide these things, probably the way he thinks about it. Because when you go down the road, towards next season, hell, when you go down the road to even say 2025, you still got Nathan McKinnon and Connor McDavid at like 12.5-ish. So all of a sudden, 8 for your 2C becomes more palatable to me. It does. But I'm not... this $9.5 million thing, it sounds like it's going to get done.
How many times have you seen Steve Yzerman or whatever the contract give out the max or whatever? I mean, do we want to, let's have a Steve Yzerman bash here or whatever like this? Well, you know what? There's a contract when we talked about it, right? Where you look at, are you getting the value out of what you signed Sherratt to?
Yeah, but here's the thing.
He's playing a different value. You understand? There's so many other things that go into this. You nailed it, Neal. Does Steve Yzerman find everything that Dylan Larkin does on and off the ice and whatever? What's the value to this team?
Right. Mike G says, rule breaker, Dylan makes players better and does so many things off the score sheet. You got to build around guys like that. Maybe Larks is our Stamkos, and you got to get the points in Kucherov. But Mike G, where that's different, though, Stamkos was an elite player in this league. Top 5 player in this league back in his day, when he did sign the contract. Here's the thing, D-Mac. So when you fast forward to 2025, here's that market entry point. Philip Forsberg is an $8.5 million guy in 2025. Is Larkin equivalent to him?
No, he's their 1C. But
Okay.
they got him under thing. But
Yeah.
I mean,
Thomas Hurdle.
yeah, more in the conversation
Thomas
of what
Hurdle.
he can be because of, yes. So
Thomas
yes.
Hurdle's an $8.1 million guy in
Is that-
2025. Thomas Hurdle with the Sharks.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, but I see
Is
there's
he
so
in
much there's so much more with being the captain, with being everything else to
JT Miller is an $8 million a year guy. Right. See, now I'm starting to get more all right with it.
Yeah, no, I mean that's where he's into those guys. Those
Robert
categories.
Thomas. See, and I guess that's kind of my disconnect. Like when we sit here and talk about it, when it gets compared, like is he our Steven Stamkos? I don't think Larkin is that level of player that Steven Stamkos was, and I think that's fair. That's a fair question that I get to ask. But as we go through it and we talk through it, and you want to sit here and tell me about Robert Thomas as an $8.1 million player in 2025, all right, I'll ride with Larkin for that. I'll put him on that. That's fair. Is that fair, D-Mac? Am I being reasonable here?
No, not at all.
Okay.
You look at around, and I think because that part of it, right, where Steve Yzerman takes into account all of that also. So it's not that far-fetched to the $8.5 million to whatever else. It all depends on, I think a lot hinders on what is the other moves you're going to make. I do this means I do this, this, and this. Now it comes into when you're talking about this, does it, in my opinion, make Bertuzzi more expendable? Probably, right? Probably.
Yeah.
If we'll see.
I wouldn't
and
mind.
You know what? It's sort of unfair because I still think with the freak injuries this year and whatever, like I still haven't seen it doesn't seem like he's got his legs. Like it doesn't seem like he's got his legs under him yet or whatever like that. So whether that happens or not, but again, that's down to the hashtag Yzerplan and what they're building in the dressing room and what Stevie wants it to become.
Yeah. Epic says Sider with Raymond and an eventual 1C. And here's the overriding thing, and we'll talk about the Bertuzzi thing maybe a little bit later. Here's my point, D-Mac, and I feel this in my bones. And every time I look at Stevie Y, next time I'm there holding court with him, next time we sit down and I'm consulting for him, I'll look into his soul, not just his eyes. I'll look into his soul, and I'll get the answer to this question. But I do believe in my heart that there is a 1C move coming. With the cap space, the draft capital, they can go in and drop a hammer. I don't think anybody's off
2
limits.
years. Yeah, and you know what? There's probably like two guys or two, maybe three at the most on the short list.
To your point, the time for that is not now.
No.
As much as we want it to be right now. The time for that is not now. And you can't miss when you do it. You cannot miss.
There it is. You got one shot.
So the timing has to work too. It can't just be the available move. The timing of the move has to work, and you can't miss. And I in my bones, that's what I think is happening. That you're gonna get the news is gonna break, and the NHL world's gonna be like, holy-ish.
Absolutely.
They're
Because
back.
you know what? You nailed it. It's always about timing. Timing is the one thing that matters. Like at Alta, uptime matters. Alta Equipment, they got everything you need to get the job done. You got a bog project coming up. Alta Rent, they've got you covered. Call them today, 844. Go to Alta. That's 844. Go to Alta.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
As chilly weather approaches, Big Boy's got the perfect comfort meals for you. Try our hearty classic meatloaf or our creamy Cajun chicken Alfredo. These will be sure to leave you craving for more. How about breakfast? Our stuffed potato pancakes are back with our lumberjack, blockbuster, and Santa Fe Garden. These potato pancakes will definitely fill you up. Whether it's for breakfast, lunch, or dinner, come stock up on the perfect comfort meal today. We'll see you soon at Big Boy.
Hi, I'm Dr. Jason Olafson, DC, the founder of the Custom Health Centers, and we've helped thousands of people learn how easy it is to lose weight and keep it off with our customized weight loss and body contouring programs.
With Custom Health, you don't feel hungry, you eat well. My name is Simeon Timbuk, and I've lost 71 pounds on the program.
Call us at 844-789-THIN or visit CustomHealthCenters.com for a free consultation and get started for as little as $5 a day.
Hamtramck is the home of the original football bowling pin game called Foaling. Multiple different ways you can play. They've got $12 open unlimited play and private lane reservation for $120 if you get thirsty. They got a $2 mystery beer vending machine and multiple fully loaded bars for you to choose from. So make sure you go check them out in Hamtramck or visit them online at FoalingWarehouse.com.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Spencer Raxter. His mic is not muted, as a matter of fact. Sam Flannel as well. Happy to have you with us.
He snuck in some friggin' lobster. I saw that. He just chugged down a lobster roll. Gosh darn it, Spenny.
Real quick, the 2024 MLB Hall of Fame ballot just dropped from The Athletic. They're saying that Adrian Beltre will probably make it. Joe Mauer is a question. Joe Mauer is a Hall of Fame player.
Yeah.
Just off what he did against the Tigers alone.
Just being a catcher, the average.
Yeah. Chase Utley, David Wright, It's under the headline 10 years isn't that long. David Wright is eligible for Hall of Fame, huh? Wow. You're getting old, Darren.
Well, none of those guys should be in before Chris Osgood. That's all I got to say.
Yeah. Jose Bautista is up to Bartolo Colon. Colon should get in 100%.
Longevity.
And
home runs.
It's him and Shohei Ohtani. When you think about pitchers that have power, he hit that one home run that one time. Adrian Gonzalez, Matt Holliday, Jose Reyes. So pretty underwhelming though, isn't it?
It's a lot of kind of haul of really, really good players from like 10 years ago. I mean, Jose Reyes, Matt Holliday. I mean, they're eligible for the Hall of Fame. Weren't they just in the MLB? I don't know.
Yeah.
Not the worst class.
No, it is. Somebody asked WoodwardSports.com a chat thread. Are we still paying Abdelkader? I think this is the last year, right? We went through this before. Let me just look. I got to look real quick.
You got mad. Yeah, he's on for this year.
$1.05 million.
I know that for a fact because you've raised your voice on it before.
Goddamn, Franz Nielsen is still on the payroll. Jesus, man, his agent should be put in the Hall of Fame. Franz Nielsen's agent, they're still paying him. And then Abdelkader's on next year for $1.05 million. Now I have to look and see how far this goes. I hope you guys are happy with yourself. You bring the show to a screen. He's on in 2024 for $1.05 million.
Oh, man. Hell no. That'd be nice. A little $1 million deferred every year. Bobby Bonilla effect.
He's on the 2025 salary cap, too, for $1.05 million. Oh, hell Jesus Christ. Did he play for the Mets at some point, too?
Oh, just think if he wasn't on the books.
Finally.
There's that $1 million that Larkin wanted. You can blame it on Abby.
In 2026, he's finally off the payroll. Again, Darren McCarty, I sit in this chair, and I am respectful of what happened with the Red Wings organization. They were a standard of winning. They were a standard of excellence, not just in sport, not just in hockey, but in all of sports. One of the truly great franchises in all of sports. When you talk about Yankees and Red Wings, and you know what I'm saying? They are up there in that echelon. That run they had can never be questioned as one of the great runs of professional sports history. But Ken Holland burnt this place to the ground in the salary cap era. Both things can be true.
When you look back at it, it's not totally Kenny Holland's fault, because if you, like, when I look at it now and look back, it's the availability that Mike Babcock it started making this not a destination place. People didn't want to play for him. So you only had a crack at not the top guys that you always used to get, even before the end of the salary cap. You're talking about the hosts and all that different stuff. Now you can pinpoint it if you're going to say, oh, where did it start when you had to make a decision between long-term Franzen or Hossa? Yes, that started. But when you're only getting to go after and sign the big money, and your big money guys are the Stephen Weisses and Franz Nielsen and these guys, to me, that tells you the culture in the locker room, too, that guys don't want to come and play. And maybe that was hidden a lot more through
as you
the
continue to make the playoffs.
Years. You know what I'm saying? So, yes, Kenny Holland... But I think that somebody nailed it in the WoodwardSports.com. When Yzerplan took over, this team wasn't even going in the right direction. We use 75 as an analogy on where we're at. Right. They were 75 south down in Tennessee. Maybe they were just passing into the Florida border. He had to turn this thing around. In fact, they were probably already all the way down in Tampa, and they just picked him up, and he turned the bus around and started heading up 75 north. But way further along, to even the stuff that people don't understand, that you're telling them you got a guy on the books, even if it's for $1 million, that's $4 million. Right, that you could turn towards Larkin.
Okay.
So every little bit counts, especially now.
Spartan Dog getting the checks, can't hate on it. It's my guy.
You can hate on it.
Get paid, young dog. Get paid.
Hey, you get what somebody says you're worth. I don't hate Justin Ablocator for it because guess what? Somebody puts that contract in front of my face. I'm taking it.
Facts.
Neal, to your point, it's one of those deferred the front end to the back or whatever you pay it at the end, to what you're saying about Rodgers and different things like that. So. Yeah, you can never blame the play. You don't blame Weiss. You don't blame Franz Nielsen.
They'd be idiots if I'd be mad at them if they didn't sign it.
Right, absolutely. But I just think there's so more to it, and there's so much more.
And as you said too,
up.
There's so many factors that go into it that we don't think of.
You don't even know.
Yeah,
there's so many factors I don't even know.
Yeah, but and you talked about it. You were never going anywhere else. You were staying here. However that fit was how it was going to fit. That's how you roll. You were going to be here. For me,
until eventually, I put it to a spot where you're making too much, and then it's easy when your owner will pay, but then they implement a salary cap that goes from $62 million to $39 million. There's casualties, and I was one of them.
Right.
But again, it was never about the money. But that was me. And if I did it again, I would do it differently, right? I like what Abby did. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%. Well, that's for me, D-Mac. I would lean more towards the money. Shockingly, and I would
surprise.
But you know what though, Spenny? Number one, I'm honest about it.
That's fair.
I'm honest about it up front. Number one,
unapologetically, Neal.
Yeah, and then number two, say I was going to get double the money. Say if I were an NBA player and I was going to get double the money to play, I don't know, in Houston than I would to be able to go play for the Celtics. I'm taking the money in Houston.
Yeah.
And if people want to say, well, you never won a championship, I'll say, okay, you finished?
Yeah. I can buy a couple of those rings.
Yeah. I'm going to go hop in the Rari and go home, okay? Because I like this Ferrari a lot. That's it. And D-Mac, there's all kinds, right, in the NHL. There's dudes that are about the bag. There's dudes that want to win. There's dudes that want the market. There's dudes that want to be close to their family. There's dudes that like warm weather. I mean, it's all like that.
No, and to Zach Connolly, who says, to use my analogy on 75 North, where are the rings at now? Tennessee, still in Florida, Ohio. Okay, if the end goal where the cup is LCA, and you started down in Tampa when Stevie picked it up, you're just...
Atlanta?
I was going to say maybe on the other... I was going to say Valdosta. But maybe
Georgia,
on the other,
Tennessee border.
Maybe on the other... You might have just gone through the traffic. You're getting... Right now, the end of this season, you're fighting the Atlanta traffic. If you know anything about it, to get on the other side of the city, you might be just at this trade deadline, the end of this season, you're just getting out of it.
Yeah.
Right? But you have more of a clear shot as you get into Tennessee in the next year. Ohio, how quick can you get through that without getting pulled over?
Yeah, it is a great analogy that we have. Atlanta. That's funny when you drive home from Florida, you get to Atlanta and you feel like you've went a long way, but you haven't. That is pretty much where the Red Wings are right now. That's a great call. If you're driving to LCA from Florida, you're in Atlanta and you're sitting in that traffic going, "This sucks.
This sucks. What are we gonna do, man? Do I got to get a new? You know, you're out when you left there. You were all sure that this was moving forward, but then you just got to reevaluate and reassess and say, okay, well, what do I have going? What do I have going here? Oh, we're gonna make it. We're gonna get there. It just takes time. This traffic ain't gonna. I wish we weren't going through here at 5 o'clock, but yeah, I have to go through Atlanta at 5 o'clock. So,
but here we are in the end, here we are. So yeah, that is where it's at. And I wanted to have that deep discussion. And I think it's important to take a spin around the landscape and see where Larkin fits in. And see, more importantly, where the other guys fit in. And I'm kind of off that edge a little bit, where if you guys wanted to get the 8 on the guy, all right. You want to do the 8 at 8? Okay. The 9 at 8, I'm 9 years at $8 million, I'm not as much of a fan of. Because now you're talking mid-30s, and Franz Nielsen's still on the books here. With all, I'm not saying that he's Franz Nielsen, but you get where I'm coming from, right? It's just, for me, that's where I'm with it. I'm at with it. And what's 19 at with it? Where's 19 at with it? We'll find out. We're going to find out.
That's all that matters.
And it's going to happen soon, because the trade deadline is coming up. And I would say, though, however, I would say this. If the trade deadline comes and Larkin's not dealt, but he hasn't been signed, he's going to get signed.
100%.
Nobody freak out.
I'm not worried about that. There's no super priority that it needs to be done before then.
Right.
Right?
That will tell me it's going to get done. The only stunner that you could wake up to is to see that Larkin got traded. That's it. That'll tell you that they were too far apart and it's over. If the trade deadline comes and Larkin's still here, but they haven't announced a contract, everybody chill. They're going to announce a contract. It's going to happen. So we know where we're at.
We do.
We're ready to move forward.
We are.
When we come back, we can do some nickel packages.
We can.
Yeah, let's talk some football.
Yeah.
Wow.
Sports marketing agency to help spread awareness about mental health and substance abuse. Their new podcast is called This is the S Word. It's about help fighting the stigma associated with seeking help. Go to thesportsma.com. Again, thesportsma.com if you're struggling or you know someone who's struggling. The Sports Marketing Agency, they're here to help.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Neal Ruhl here for Bedrock Detroit in downtown Detroit. It's all decked out all winter long with the return of the Cadillac Lodge and the Monroe Street Midway. They have the giant slide, winter bumper cars, indoor arcade for the kids, for the adults. You can grab drinks at the Lodge before or after games downtown. You just want to slide down there, run into Sam Flannel, hanging out with his in-laws. They frequent the Monroe Street Midway as well. Shop, eat, and play downtown all winter long. Go to deckedoutdetroit.com for more information. Pushing up towards the second hour of the show, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter. That's the squad. Happy to have you with us. If you're just checking us out for the first time, welcome. Jump into that woodwardsports.com chat thread. Get your thoughts out there. We'd like to read some of those as the show rolls on. But yeah, as promised, time to talk some football. Nickel packages. 1 Lions, 1 NFL playoffs through the playoffs. Let's do it.
All right, first question of the Lions nickel package. Who will be the leading rusher for the Detroit Lions next season?
Set it in stone, DeAndre Swift. Big year for him. And I know everybody's going to say, I fell for that trap last year. His life is riding on the line. His financial life is on the... He has to play. He has to be healthy. He has to be effective. I'm looking for a Saquon Barkley type effort from him.
Wow.
Where he is out there, he is available, and he is dynamic. I'm dropping the hammer on that one. It is unequivocally
what's most
DeAndre
productive?
Swift.
Touchdowns, yardage, stuff like this. I'm hoping to get more of DeAndre Swift, but I still think they know that they got to be careful with them. So I'm going to say DeAndre Swift just because I hope so, but I think that, Jamal Williams, they re-signed, will probably have more touchdowns because of the way that they play him in the red zone and short yardage. So touchdowns, Jamal, re-signed, yardage, maybe Swift.
I think you're going to see him utilized, too, in the passing game way more than we have in the past.
He's got to be available for that, though, Neal.
No, I agree, 1,000%.
All right, I like it. Second question of the Lions nickel package. Can Kirby Joseph and Tracy Walker combination work out there in the secondary?
Yeah, I mean, I saw this question. Why would it not, right?
Yeah.
Why would it not?
Tracy's played strong safety before.
Yeah.
And did you write this question not liking this combo?
No,
I would expect Tracy Walker probably plays strong. You let Kirby Joseph play free and be the ball hawk he is. But, Tracy Walker is a good player, too. Coming off the season, unfortunately, got hurt last year. But to me, he's a good, effective player in that secondary. So I'm excited to see what these two guys can do.
No, and I am too. And you guys know how I feel about Kirby Joseph as well. The football just finds him. I am concerned about Tracy Walker. How can you not be? Mm-hmm. It's a devastating injury. I don't think enough people are.
He's back running though. He's shown some videos of him working out.
Yeah, and that's cool.
Yeah.
But it's also another thing when Justin Jefferson's out there running too.
That's true.
So we keep an eye on that, obviously.
Yeah, definitely. Third question of the nickel package for the Detroit Lions at the linebacker spot. Would you rather the Lions just re-sign Anzalone and bring him back, or go after a guy like Trey Edmonds from the Buffalo Bills?
I know where everyone's going to go with this. I know where Spenmo's going. He said, or my guy. You should have said on there.
Yeah.
My guy. Numbers, man. That's what it boils down to. Because I know that we're all lit, and I know that everybody's excited and stuff like that. But remember that the financial freedom, the line of freedom. Mm-hmm. Our Andy Dufresne marker when we get out of the tunnel of Ish is 2024 financially. That's when the cap is truly free.
This almost speaks into an Anzalone re-sign, and you're going after that middle linebacker, that effective guy. I guess in Holmes we trust, but again, that all comes down to financials.
Yes.
Would I like to see your boy Emmons on our team playing the middle? Absolutely. But what does it cost?
Yeah. $11 million a year is what they got as market value pegged, man.
I'd do it.
That's big.
I'd do it.
That's big money.
I think that's a steal for him.
You could get 5 Anzalones.
I think he's worth 5 Anzalones.
But it goes against Terry's rule, though. Who's going to be the white guy with long blonde hair?
That's true.
Think about this.
That's a good point.
I love it, but
And a quick fun fact. I'm not saying that my answer is Alex Anzalone, but Alex Anzalone had 125 tackles last season.
That's not nothing.
The most Trey Edmonds has ever had in a season is 121.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
You know who Trey Edmonds was playing next to?
I understand.
Matt Milano.
Yeah,
one of the best linebackers in the NFL.
Kid's pretty
Trey
good.
Edmonds is better than Alex Anzalone. I understand that. I'm just giving some context. That's all.
Also, he's much better in coverage.
And is $11 million to anchor your defense that you like to be an everyday guy, and you have Rodrigo there? Rodrigo, is it fair to say he's more like I don't want to say a poor man's Matt Milano, but just growing into that sort of effectiveness. I just look at it immediately when we brought up the fact of I saw an article about Marshall Latimer and trading guys like 18. No, this is a better deal if you were going to do it right now at 11 or so.
Yeah.
Right? Like, this makes more sense.
Yeah, and he's 25.
But again, to your point, what are we doing with the money?
I will say this, to Spenmo's point, you do have my attention on it, even me.
Yeah.
Because what have I always said? They were like, Neal, you're so cheap, you would never spend money. I'll pay for quality.
Yeah.
And that is quality.
And that would be a quality contract, too. I think, like, if he wasn't playing next to Matt Milano and he was legit, like, number one linebacker, he'd be going for 18, 19.
Yeah, and with Tremaine Edmonds, too, Tremaine Edmonds fits how I buy my cars.
Yeah.
About 10,000 miles on them usually. That's when I step it. It's maximum value against the cap, right? The depreciation's already been accounted for, but you still got a badass car for less than market if you were to buy it new.
Facts.
So you know what? You're turning me on to this one, Spenmo.
I like it.
I'll sign off on that one.
All right, I like it. Next question of the nickel package: are Jerry Jacobs and Jeff Okudah the starting quarterbacks for the Detroit Lions next season?
Can I answer that after the 18th pick of the draft?
No.
Oh, I got to answer it now?
You got to answer it now.
You know what? When we're doing the draft show, come back and say, Neal, you remember that fourth down question I had to ask you back in January? I can ask you now, you said. Forecasting? No. Because if you take a cornerback at 18, I'm not a fan of it at 6, but at 6, at 9, at 12, at 18, wherever they end up, if you take one, he better be starting. And he will be.
I say no more to the fact of I think that there might be something there with the Okudah not being there, right? So I just think that, right now until I hear something different, I think Jerry Jacobs is one, but I don't think Okudah is the other one. Yeah. So whether it's because of what you said, the draft pick, or because they're moved on, or the end of the season, and I know that it was injury, elbow, and stuff like this, but something doesn't smell right to me, and that could just be me.
No, I think you're right. I think you're 100% right.
Thanks.
Yeah, that's fair. I really like Christian Gonzalez, I'll tell you that. And Emmanuel Forbes, second round pick out of Mississippi State, he was pretty good too. Our guy Lucas put me on him.
Mississippi State, they pump out some corners.
Pump out cornerbacks.
And they're always second round picks.
Yep.
They're never like the first wave. They're always the second wave.
Yeah.
Darius Slay and those dudes, man. Yeah. Those corners out there. Well, look who you're checking every day. Mm-hmm. Every game you play.
Big time SEC receivers.
Yeah.
The guy, Emmanuel Forbes, he's got the most pick sixes in FBS last year, and I think he's got the most in FBS history, for a single player.
What's the problem? Is he 5'11" or 5'10"?
No, he's just, I don't know. He's big, he's long, he's got great closing speed. No, he's fast. He's impressive. Go watch his tape. I watched his tape yesterday. I was really impressed.
Yeah, I will. I'm gonna have to peep that out. Well, my buddy, one of my buddies, close friend, he's a Mississippi State slappy. Reads the recruiting message boards. Yeah. He's even more of a slappy than Sam Flannel is, except he's based in reality.
Yeah.
So that's the difference.
Yeah, Rad is right. He's a little skinny, but
he's between Flannel and terminally ill Dennis.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
Well, the reality is Mississippi State always is and always has been mid. Michigan has reached heights that Mississippi State never has and never will.
Wasn't Mississippi State the number one team in the nation 5-6 years ago?
Yeah, and they got that ass
number one.
They got that ass whooped by Alabama. That was when Dak Prescott was their quarterback.
Yeah. Okay. So they have been number one in the nation.
So what does that mean? You're acting like, Mississippi State.
That's right. That doesn't fit your narrative because Michigan hasn't got there. So.
I mean, Michigan's won a national championship in '97. But
half. We should get the half.
We got to get the half T-shirts.
Yeah. Half a championship. Yeah. That'd be good.
Get stick in here now. A, he owes me dinner, and B, we got a great T-shirt idea.
That's fair. But all right, final question of the Lions nickel package. He flirted with a lot of jobs, but eventually came back and will be the offensive coordinator for the Lions. But is this the final year of Ben Johnson's reign as offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions?
I'll always lean no in these questions because you don't know what the landscape is for coaching. You don't know what jobs are going to come open. You don't know how many coaches will get fired. Now, we're in a cycle now, and I think the cycle's pretty firm where 5 to 6 guys are always going to get gassed every year. because there's 5 to 6 really bad teams every year. So it's funny how that runs in concert with each other. I think, though, we'll see some truth to what we said. Ben Johnson, I think there's a faction of people that think that Carolina Panthers offered Ben Johnson $50 million, and he was like, no, I'm staying in Detroit to finish the job. No, that isn't what happened. It's just, I think it's one of those things where we'll know the answer to that question. If he doesn't get a starting job again, we know that maybe one wasn't offered. But if he does get a job, he was really out looking for a job this year and just didn't get an offer.
No, I think that is his resume. And I think it's just what he's going to put together. So I don't expect him. I think this is the new age of offensive coordinators and coaches that are getting in there when they're younger. And with Ben Johnson, it's not, I know last year was his first year as a full-time OC, but he started in the tight ends department, started in the facility, been there even under the Patricia regime. So I don't think he'll be here. I think he's going to get better and better, and I think that right now he's the short list for a lot of these owners. They have his name in their mouth to watch out how he does because of what he did last year. Now, it's also, too, what he done for me lately. If they come out and the offense doesn't perform like they did and we don't make the playoffs and the Lions don't have the team success, that'll hurt him. But I think he's in a totally different situation, that he's, one of the next hot commodities to go. And I expect after the success of next year, it'll be somebody's going to pay him the bag that he wants.
Fair. And that is your Detroit Lions nickel package. If you want a haircut, something that fits under everybody's salary cap, D-Mac.
Well, you got to come to Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men for the award-winning experience. Register for once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. Yes, opportunity to win a down payment for your dream home. Up to $200,000. I said it, $200K. How do you do it? You get to a Lady Jane's, open 7 days a week. You walk in anytime you register. Why? It's wicked awesome.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
The Sports Marketing Agency would not be who we are without great community partners like Higuera Health and Carol Zuniga.
It's an awesome opportunity to partner with your organization. Higuera Health is a comprehensive behavioral health organization. We serve children through older adults with mental health, substance use, and developmental disabilities across Western Wayne counties, and really excited to now be in downriver communities as well. Give us a call at 734-458-4601.
You don't have to go to the beach, man. You don't have to get your butt crack full of sand. You just need a little chili peppers, man, to get that glowing beach chili peppers tan. Woo!
With 26 locations in the Metro Detroit area and more coming, Chili Peppers Tanning is where you'll find the cleanest salons in the D. Join the Pepper Club for the best deals on unlimited tanning. Head to chilipepperstanning.com.
You just need a little chili peppers, man.
Matrix Home Solutions is your go-to for any home project. Looking for a new man cave? They are the basement remodel experts. They also specialize in bathrooms and kitchens. An A+ rating by the Better Business Bureau. Call 888-594-8844 or go to matrixhomesolutions.com.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. We are squad deep up in here. Tammy Chin, Cintron was supposed to send you an email, I'm being told. So look for that. That's the best I can do for you right now. But look for that. We'll get that all figured out and squared away. But anyways, we were talking about the Detroit Lions and the nickel package, but it is NFL playoff season as well. Let's take a spin around the NFL playoffs, shall we, Sam Flannel?
Yes, absolutely. So, which team looked more impressive to you this past weekend? The Bengals or the Eagles?
The Eagles. And here's why. That was more on brand for the Bengals, what they did. I had a lot of questions about Jalen Hurts and his health, and I was hearing people talking about collarbone issues and things like that. They smashed the Giants.
He looked fine.
Hurts looked. He's okay.
He was running angry too,
and he was pissed off. And that great take by you, Spenmo, because that's exactly where I was. That guy looks locked in. They looked ready to go. So I was more impressed by what I saw with the Eagles, only because I had more questions about the Eagles. What did I say, man? When the Bills struggled with the Dolphins, I said, you guys pull that again, Joey B's coming to town. That hits different when he rolls into your
You know
city.
what hits different? And I said this, and I told Spencer to put this up, not for today, but for the future. But is Joe Burrow more Tom Brady or Joe Montana? Because here's the one thing is that's Joey Baller, baby.
Yeah.
He, like, to me, Montana, but he goes in there and what they did, and not only offensively, because you sort of expect it. He's going to find a will. He's got the weapons and Chase, when they can run the ball with Mixon. The biggest question was 3 offensive linemen down, and what did they do? They used motion with Chase to dictate the coverage of what, like, they put Buffalo on its heels offensively, but defensively they schemed great. They got pressure when they needed it, and I think it was more, to me, going in there on brand, but it was more, to me, I found it was more the Giants on brand.
And that's fair. That's certainly fair.
But it plays to, when I came out of there, it was just like, oh my God. Because I'd always thought that Joe Burrow was more Tom Brady, but he's more Joe Montana, man.
I like that comp, yeah.
He's cool and gets it done, but the team and Zach Taylor and that Cincinnati vibe, that's real. The mojo of Cincinnati, like what's going on in Buffalo, there's something there. And I come from, because I said to these guys earlier, I go, wow, if ever was going to be a Buffalo year, because all the things that went on around it, to fight through whatever curse is on them, right? I've experienced it. Our Believe year with Vladdy and stuff would be this year, but even the DeMar Hamlin couldn't pull him through that. So I think there's major, something's wrong there. But Cincinnati on brand, we were talking about it before. The best 4 teams are in the last 4 teams left, right? In my opinion. So it sort of came out in the wash. But to me, I mean, Cincinnati, because it wasn't just a Joe Burrow show, it was everything around him. And maybe because they protected him and kept him not dead. But that was the whole thing. Was he going to get through the game? I didn't know.
And he was kept pretty clean.
He was kept really clean. And if you break it down and watch, because the adjustments that Cincinnati makes game to game is very impressive. And you can only do that when you have somebody leading the charge like Joe Burrow.
That's got the juice.
Does got the juice.
Second out.
All right, so let's go to the other side of the coin. Which fan base should feel worse right now, more sick to their stomach? Cowboys fans or Bills fans?
Oh, come on, man. That's easy.
That is easy.
That's so easy.
That is easy.
Give Buffalo the roller coaster of emotions and stuff like this and losing the player and stuff. Dallas, there's no excuse. Dallas is just year after year after year. I mean, because they tell me how great they are, right? Like Buffalo knows there's something there, right? But Dallas, that's just a joke, right? I mean, I don't know, dude. I had that feeling, and honestly, the game was closer, and they did a better job defensively. And show Brock Purdy to be more of a rookie than I thought they would. But at the end of the day, I said to you, we texted before that, because I think out of any time that we've done a show, we were furthest apart on this game.
Yeah. And look, you can say
but
this.
You didn't get, right? You didn't get that Dallas game, right? You expected them to build on what they did and keep rolling. I didn't think that they had that. That's the deficiency.
See, I thought Dallas delivered defensively for about 3.5 quarters, and they got worn down, because you saw that was a different Dallas defense in the fourth quarter.
And you know what? Also, too, Tony Pollard, that crushed them
for sure.
I agree with you.
Like if you need to know who is the heartbeat, right? We always say Zeke, and Zeke always gets a flat. Dude, Tony Pollard means so much in that, because you could tell that affected those guys. And you know what it was like? You know what it reminded me of? The sale that was taken out of our our ship when Chris Draper got hit from behind by Claude Lemieux, and for the rest of that game, they just couldn't get over it.
Yeah, and then that's because I thought Dallas defensively was doing enough to win that football game.
Oh, held 49ers to 19 points. Absolutely.
And we talked about through the Brock Purdy thing, where I talked about the interception.
Yeah.
Those two that hit Dallas defenders in the chest.
One of them was Trayvon Diggs.
Yeah.
He had 10 picks last year.
He catches that ball. It's like the 49ers thing last year.
Tips. It was
Wait. Hey, hello, time. You're absolutely right, and you called we broke the game down
right. But he got away with it.
But wait about why we're not talking about this? It's and you still see top teams players make the stupidest mental decisions, stepping out of bounds, doing all this that. San Fran almost suffered from two of the worst. Twisky Tart dropping it last year. Going out of bounds, giving Dallas an extra shot. These are things that it's the little things that are going to hold you back from winning the playoffs. So I think but in order to win, you have to survive.
You survive mistakes, and they survive mistakes.
That's exactly
and they got away with
what
it.
San Francisco did.
And they got away with it. That's something that happened. Stafford had it last year. Hit the 49er safety in the chest with the ball, and he dropped it.
Yeah.
Or else the fairy tale doesn't come true, and it's over. So they got away with it. So good on them. But I will tell you this. The Cowboys fans should feel worse because Joe Burrow was born, went to elementary school, junior high, high school, went to a couple different colleges, played college football, got drafted, and has gotten to the conference championship game. He did all that since the last time the Cowboys got there. So Cowboys fans, you can piss off too because you've sucked for a long time now. Let's call a spade a spade. I know you were a glorious franchise and stuff like that before, but you stink now. And you haven't got to a conference championship game since Boyz II Men had the #1 selling album in America. So turn it down.
BBD.
So Cowboys fans, your expectations are the problems. You ain't that, Cowboys, so stop acting like you are.
Hey, now I know why LGRW Sparty doesn't let his girlfriend watch Joe Burrow games.
Yeah.
What's next, Sam?
All right. Third.
Could it really happen? All right, sorry, go ahead.
It's all right. Sing your voice to bed. All right, third down. On a scale of 1 to 10, how concerned should Chiefs fans be with Patrick Mahomes' injury?
About 1,000.
Wow.
9.
1,000.
That's okay. We're a little bit different. A little bit off, but we're still concerned.
1,010. It's a high ankle sprain, dude, and he never looked right. With all the the adrenaline you have going through your veins during the game, and he was doing and saying all the right things, right? So that was, to me, I feel like that's as good as it was going to get. And sometimes they can shake it off and get. And D-Mac, I'll defer to you. You can get hurt and shake it off and finish a game.
And can't get back.
But you can't get back out there, man. I have genuine concern about Patrick Mahomes.
Here's a couple things, right?
Yeah.
We've seen this play before. Patrick Mahomes not healthy. He is an unbelievable player, but he's not superhuman, right? We're talking about high ankle sprain.
I know.
Let me just tell you the worst injury I've had. I've had 5 hand surgeries, 3 groin surgeries, separated shoulders, over 500 stitches. But the worst injury I ever took was I blew my ankle out. I didn't break it. I was chasing an icing back before they had automatic icings in San Jose, and I got tied up with Jeff Norton, their D-man, and I went full speed into the boards with my feet in the air, bang, rolled my ankle, blew every tendon out in my ankle. It took me a year before it felt almost 100%.
And it never felt 100% again.
Still to this day, I'll have moments and stuff like this. This high ankle sprain, he would have been not better. No, he's done.
Yeah.
And then so does it. Hey, Sam, here's my question.
Yeah.
How much faith do you have? Forget Patrick Mahomes. We said that we're all super concerned, but how much faith, 1 to 10, do you have in Chad Henne? Former Michigan guy.
Michigan man.
Michigan man.
I mean, to win that game by himself, not really
He's got a team around him.
No, I understand that, but I think Patrick Mahomes is going to try to give it a go. I'll tell you what. Feels good. I really thought that the Chiefs were going to win the Super Bowl this year. I thought this was Patrick Mahomes. He was going to get his second ring, his second Super Bowl MVP. But with that injury, I think I'm going to change my pick.
Yeah, I'm with you.
Yeah.
Like, I can't in good conscience roll with that. Hey, this is a question for me real quick. I know that we're up against it. Ransom asked me this question, but I'll spin it to you. Are the Dallas Cowboys the NFL version of the Michigan Wolverines?
I mean, I think Michigan has had more recent success, but they both have championships in the 90s and haven't. The Cowboys are historically better than Michigan because they have 5 Super Bowls since the mid-70s.
They have a whole championship.
Wait, hold on.
Right.
Do you round up? Half equals a whole? Is that what you're doing?
They won their last solo championship when there were face masks on the helmets.
They won 5 since like the mid-70s. So
there were no commercials for war bonds during the games. Uncle Sam needs you. All right, I'm sorry. We're getting off track.
No, that is all right. Okay, 4th down.
Oh, we got to cook. Okay, here we go.
Which star tight end had a more impactful performance this past weekend?
Travis Kelce. End of story. Next question.
All right.
I don't even know who the choices were. Was he one of the? Was
George Kittle?
George Kittle was great.
But how does Diggs not take his head off? How's he miss that hit there? When he's bibble bobbled, you could have lit him to
Travis Kelce's the greatest tight end to ever play football.
Agree, 100%.
And there's no debate.
There is no debate.
And I know Shannon Sharp was great. I know Tony Gonzalez was great and everything like that. Gronk was great player. They're not this man. This guy is a monster.
7,000-yard seasons. The next
he's
closest
always wide open. Always wide open. Everybody knows he's getting the ball, and there he is. Nobody 10 yards around him all the time. We were sitting there. We were watching the games. We're like, how is this guy always open? And then you look at the scheme, and you see the misdirection and the motion and how they go away from the action. And he's always 10 yards wide open. You can't stop him.
I'm giving him the Calvin treatment. I'm putting 2 defenders head up.
2 spies.
Yeah.
Just on him. You can't stop. He's the greatest of all time.
D-Mac, Travis Kelce?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. All right. 5th down. Which defense impressed you the most this past weekend? The 49ers, Bengals, or Eagles?
Feels good.
The Bengals.
I was going to say that too.
The Bengals, dude.
You know what the Niners are.
Because he went up against big bad Josh Allen in Buffalo in the snow. And what did they do? Josh Allen, did he run for 2 touchdowns and throw for 4? No, he scored 10 points. And you know what? Maybe I'm giving the Bengals too much credit. How about that? Maybe I am. Maybe Josh Allen, when it's the big time and it's a big moment, maybe he's just mid.
No.
Maybe he is.
Didn't
he was mid yesterday. He was mid on Sunday.
He didn't look comfortable all game.
He looked mid.
The Bengals' performance was more than I guess the San Francisco, I expect that out of that defense because they are so good, and if you watch tape on them, the way that they're able to contain, but the Bengals, and they scheme. They're the team of destiny to me.
He was mid on Sunday, and I don't care what anybody says.
Josh Allen wasn't feeling good.
No, there was no Tony has done it again. No, there wasn't. Cintron's been doing it again, though. Fashionable, functionable, and fun. Check out the stylish brand design with the unique crown and the cool bottle designs. Cintron is with you for all of life's most memorable moments, whether it's clinching a playoff win, not by the Buffalo Bills, so you won't see it in Buffalo, closing the big deal, or a fun night out. Cintron is made for celebrations. You can buy it online. DrinkCintron.com. Cintron's also available on Amazon. So you know what? Why wait? Next time you're down at LCA, okay, get the classic, the cranberry, or the sugar-free while you're watching your next Red Wings game. Drink it. Live it with Cintron.
Can't get enough Woodward Sports content? Head over to woodwardsports.com right now for up-to-date sports articles and great entertainment news. We have the best writers, bloggers, and coverage all at your fingertips. Head to woodwardsports.com right now to experience all Woodward Sports has to offer.
What's a winter wonderland if you can't shop, eat, and play? Lucky for you, you can do it all at the Downtown Detroit Markets, Cadillac Lodge, and the new winter version of the Monroe Street Midway, all located just across the street from Campus Martius Park. Find the fun at deckedoutdetroit.com.
Hi, I'm John from Better Rate Mortgage, and to me, family is more than blood. That's why I have the biggest family in Metro Detroit. If you're looking to buy a house or refinance and need a loan, come get treated better than family by me and our entire team here at Better Rate Mortgage. We pride ourselves on giving you better advice, better service, and a better loan experience. That's why we are Better Rate. If you're looking for a new mortgage, come get treated like family. Actually, better with Better Rate Mortgage. Visit us at mybetterrate.com or call at 248-480-4467 today.
Neal Ruhl here for Custom Health Centers, where you can get your customized approach to weight loss. Our own Ryan Ermanni is on his journey right now. Look, he's ripped already. It took like 4 days, and he's written, no, we're just kidding. But he is down over 15 pounds. You can do it too. Custom Health Centers, over 20,000 success stories. As a matter of fact, they've helped many professional athletes along the way. Former Pro Bowl MVP kicker Eddie Murray, an NBA world champion, Rick Mahorn as well. Horn looks great, down over 50 pounds. So you can start losing weight today. Call Dr. Jason and Custom Health, 844-789-8446. Again, 844-789-THIN. Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network. Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter as well. Just wrapped up the nickel packages, rad, in the WoodwardSports.com chat thread. You can tap in. With the way Neal talks about quarterbacks, I'm convinced he only thinks the one QB is good every year, and that's whoever wins the Super Bowl. No, I go off track records. Like, Patrick Mahomes obviously is great. Tom Brady was great. I think Jalen Hurts has that little shake to him. We'll see if he can handle the biggest stage. I guess more or less, Rad, that's what it is. People that can handle the biggest stage. And Josh Allen has not yet. He hasn't. And look, you want to get into semantics and say, oh, well, I don't put last year's loss on him at Kansas City. Fine. Okay. There is nothing you can say about when you have a game at home and you roll out and score 10 points against the Bengals. Nothing you can say. I don't want to hear it. I'm not hearing it.
I mean, he had a chance to kind of validate last season with it not being his
failed.
fault, which it wasn't. Yeah, you can't score 10 points in a home divisional
and he was
playoff
mid
game.
in the game against the Dolphins, too. Like, it's a trend.
He might have been worse than mid with all those turnovers.
It's a trend.
Yeah.
I have a question. Because it seems to me, and am I wrong with this, but the Green Bay Packers, who play outdoors, who have home field advantage, and the Buffalo Bills, who play outdoors, have home field advantage, both of the similarities, right? Outdoor stadiums, cold, snow, this time of year, they don't take advantage. Are they, like, as far as in the past?
Wait a minute. I was told Aaron
3,
Rodgers
4,
is so
5
great.
years, but can't get there even with everything on their side. The biggest misnomer is the fact that you're not supposed to do it on the road, but you are supposed to do it at home. So is Josh Allen not falling into the Aaron Rodgers sort of category conversation of guys that don't get it done? Yes, Aaron Rodgers has one.
Hold on,
Did
D-Man.
it early.
I'm confused.
But I'm just saying that it seems that the Buffalo home field advantage and the Lambeau home field advantage really aren't advantages in today's NFL. Am I out of line with that?
No, but I am confused by one of your statements, because I was told that Aaron Rodgers hadn't lost in 50 years, right? But they had qualifiers. That was on a Sunday in December against the NFC Central.
The Lions did beat him in January in Lambeau.
Yeah. So that didn't fit the narrative. That's wild. Yeah, no, it is for me, D-Mac. Here's the other thing, too, about the elements. And I'm going to get killed for this. But you know what? I don't care.
Like Earth, Wind, and Fire?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Okay.
I'm going to get killed for this. You don't get the truest test of football when you're out there and it's snowing outside and stuff like that. Why do you think every big game is either played at the Rose Bowl, out in California now at SoFi, or in Miami, or in a dome? Why do you think all the conference championship games, most of them anyway, are in domes? Why do you think that is? Why?
I mean, I don't necessarily think you're wrong. It's just, I don't know, I'm kind of a football romantic. I personally, for a very long time, would have liked the Detroit Lions to have an outdoor stadium to use that the elements to their advantage, like the Minnesota Vikings used to have at way back in the day, and now they have a dome. But there is something to be said about on a climate-controlled environment. We get to really see
the truest test of football.
I'm too much of a football romantic to co-sign with that 100%.
Of football.
Where are you at on that? Where are you at on that, Spenny?
I mean, I'd rather see it. Big money games, I don't want coming down to if it's raining or snowing. I want big money games to be the best players
decided by
making the
football.
Best plays, yeah.
decided by football, and I'm with that. I know what D-Mac's going to say. He wants them all outside all the time.
Playing football in the snow is more fun.
I just
100%.
want them consistent. And you know what the thing is that's the thing. You know, I mean, I asked the players. But I mean, it's just whatever your home, it doesn't matter if you're indoor, outdoor, whatever like that. You look at Minnesota, move from outdoor, indoor, or indoor, outdoor, different things like that. You got to build your team towards it. And for whatever reason, we always go in with this perception that, these home field open stadiums that play in the snow on the cold, they have the advantage when the records as of late especially don't show an advantage.
Yeah.
To me, anyways, every time. Right? So, you're right, though, Neal. I want them all outside in the snow. And the cold, the elements. It's all part of it.
Different players will give you different responses. Like, as a former offensive lineman and defensive lineman, playing in the mud, in the rain, that was my favorite. Just get down and dirty, be as grimy as you can, flipping people over. I love that. But if you ask,
I'm sorry, I missed the first part of that statement. Were you talking about the restrooms at the local establishments? Because I just heard you say getting down and dirty and getting grimy.
Nice and grimy.
Because you said the same thing about a different story yesterday, but the details were the same.
Details were the same. Down and dirty, Harper's bathroom, mud field, same kind of thing. But it's
same mentality.
If you ask like my boy Mustache, who was our running back, he hated playing in the snow and in the rain, and so it's a little different.
And that's the thing too, right? It'd be interesting to know, players, what do they prefer? Who gets excited? Because I'm sure there's a whole bunch of dudes that get excited when it's cold, and a whole bunch of dudes that don't. So I'm just glad, to hear like the talk that they were actually having the conversation about moving the conference games to a neutral site. And I know because of if Buffalo would have won and different things like that, but the NFL, you know why they can't do progress? Because they don't do progress very well. Because once they do something, they're all in on it, right? So then it would ruin everything else. And I'm under full agreement, especially like here in Detroit. If we could ever get to a conference final game and even actually host it, that's a Super Bowl. That's your Super Bowl here for your hometown fans. So I just think Buffalo is sort of more, I put them in the category of Green Bay. Now, I think they're better and they have more upside because of what's going on with Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay's cap. But as far as there is some dysfunction and they can't win at their home stadium when they need to.
Right, and that is true, and it's playing out that way. So, and you wonder, would Buffalo have been better off, playing that game indoors? So, I don't know. I'm always climate controlled anyway because I like to, not have to be all bundled up and stuff, and not have to drink bourbon to get by. Well, maybe I would like to have to drink bourbon to get by, but you know how I roll. You get where I'm going.
That's why they, stadiums like that's why they invented the flask in the stadium, buddy. Right, Spenny?
Facts.
Yeah,
shoes and the socks.
Yeah, your ingenuity always comes out at the most opportune time. It's a very opportune time for you, if you're hungry, by the way.
It's for sure.
To jump in that Cousin's Maine lobster life.
Obviously, it's always a good time to jump in that Cousin's Maine lobster life because Woodward Sports, and I can certify this, especially Spencer Raxter, loves lobster. And what better way to get your fix than Cousin's Maine Lobster? With 2 trucks rolling around Detroit, you can be sure to find the best lobster rolls, lobster tots, lobster tacos, and Terry and my favorite lobster grilled cheese to power through the day. Go to cousinsmainelobster.com and find their schedule, or you can visit them online on the app, order ahead, earn rewards, scan that QR code right there, and figure out where they are rolling around the city. So make sure you check out Cousin's Maine Lobster.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
Introducing the Planet Fitness Guide to getting that post-workout glow. Step 1. What's your why? More epic energy? Better sleep? Blow off steam? Step 2. Join Planet Fitness for just $10 a month and get moving in our clean and spacious clubs. Step 3. Bask in that post-workout glow. Join Planet Fitness today for just $10 a month.
Join today at any of the 50-plus Detroit area locations.
It's a great day to get some Centron in your life. Okay. There it is. Centron, here we go. Gotta grab the cranberry. Oh wait, it's 2 for 4. Gotta double up with the classic as well. Centron World, baby. Centron, available at select Kroger's, and if you wanna know how, go to @CentronWorld.com. You get dope like me. You know what? Why wait? Great taste, guaranteed.
It's the new year, so why not let Guardian Alarm offer you customized solutions from real expert professional technicians that take the time to recommend security and automation solutions specific for your needs, whether business or personal. But I need you to call the number 1-800.
Stay out.
24/7 professional monitoring. Call anytime, day or night. Know that a Guardian team member will stay on the phone as long as needed. But I need you to call the number now. 1-800.
Stay out.
Technology backed by people. Your safety and security deserves technology that's been proven to work, and people who have been proven to care about what you care about, they care about. That's Guardian Alarm. And if you have something so special as Flannel Sam and those flannels, how many straight days of flannel protection?
199.
199 days of straight flannel protection because he called. And you today, call the number 1-800.
Stay out. Stay out of the playoffs, Dak Prescott.
Yes, he did. Anyways, Guardian Alarm, your local security experts. Tell them, Big D Energy, we sent you.
Back at it, Big D Energy, Woodward Sports Network, Neal Ruhl, Darren McCarty, Sam Flannel, Spencer Raxter. You know what? And I don't like to do this, Spenny, and I don't like to do this to you guys, certainly. But I think it begs the question.
Omaha.
A question bagger.
Yeah. And I just want to know where everybody's mentality. Did you see the Stefon Diggs stuff that came out after the game?
He's talking crap.
He wasn't talking crap. Like, we saw his reactions, right, during the game. He was upset, right?
He looked like he had his Odell moment.
Yeah, he was upset. He sent out some tweets, and basically the nature of the tweet was, everybody wants me to be, not upset about losing. Nah. And he says, you want me to not be upset if we don't play well? Nah. Mm-hmm. And then he said, it's easy for you guys to criticize my actions than it is to criticize the result of the game. And that's true. And I just saw that tweet pop up on the screen, and that kind of stuck with me. Right? Because so the fans don't like the result, so you go away from the result. Because I don't have a huge problem with what Stefon Diggs did. I defer to you.
No. You could tell, like, guys are emotional and different things, and with the heat of the moment and stuff like that. But even what he said, factual. Yeah, and it was just one of those things where I don't have a problem with it, man, because it bothered him that they didn't win. Well, does it go to what Dirty Dr. D says? Diggs is a real one, right? You consider Diggs a real one, don't you? I do. So real ones get real translation into what they say. So that's and not to be transparent, genuine. That's the whole thing that I try to do, right? Is that if I say it, I sort of mean it. He's not a guy that doesn't come out and say things, but to the fact, I think Dirty Doctor, like, he's a real one. So when real ones post stuff, it means something. You take it differently. You don't, like, if Aaron Rodgers posted that, right, because of we don't think he's a real one, right? Then you're going to break it down and not take him seriously. You take everything Stefon Diggs does because I think he's earned that respect. I agree. By his play, by the way he's handled himself in different situations as a man. Now, he's been childish sometimes throughout his career, but he's always stepped up and manned up about it, and I respect that. WoodwardSports.com chat thread, and people are really getting their thoughts out there. David Mentier says Diggs was pissed. It's okay. He should be mad. They got beat handily in the playoffs. And Jason at WoodwardSports.com chat thread says, why was he only barking at his QB?
That's the nature of the relationship. Because he felt like he was missed.
What I saw there is the strength of brotherhood, right? Like that's their relationship. You can't get in the middle of that, and that's the comfort zone. Remember, we always say know your audience, and different things like that, where you can say different things around different friends. You use different language around different people. That's the same thing. That's their comfort zone as the team. See, I don't think that the dysfunction in Buffalo is a culture and it's a thing in the locker room, because I think that they proved to us and showed to us in the worst of the worst times, right? The humanitarian, the compassion. What I think it's if I would relate it to music, it's a writer's block. They're a writer's block or against hitting that wall. They need that moment. They're more like us back in the early 90s than anything else. Are you ever going to get over the hump? Are you going to get there, right? So I just think that there's something missing. I don't know what it is, because what I go to first is culture and who are their main guys, and it's not that. It's just there's a miss there, that they can't get over that hump. That when it comes down to it, and maybe that's the way it's going to be for the career, because you're not going to get away from Joe Burrow, and Joe Burrow has the it to carry his guys through that.
He got the ball to his guy. He found a way to get the ball to his guy.
The whole scheme, and what you saw is that when things didn't go well, when things go well for Buffalo, they can roll, but when they don't go well and they're not spreading it out, and they don't they don't get what they need throughout the running game, into Diggs getting the balls and stuff like this, right? Like, it's frustrating. Wasn't that I think 11 balls thrown to him, 4 were completed. It's since the teammates they've been the most, Josh Allen and Stefon Diggs, that's the least productive that they've ever been. So it shows why they're frustrated. Right?
No doubt. It's just that last one really hit me, that it's easier to criticize my actions than to criticize the result, but it shouldn't be. Because
when you're a real one, you go to exactly what you said, because you translate that final and you're going, you're right, Stefon. We shouldn't. You just brought it to our attention that we should look at the whole picture and know the accountability. It's like looking in the mirror and owning, liking that person, but owning your responsibility. That's all he's saying.
Did you see the response to that?
I hear him saying, not saying that he's not responsible, that he wasn't part of it and stuff like this, but let's look at the whole thing, because you can nail this, that, and this and that to whatever seems that the conversation at the end of every Buffalo season that you're having.
What do you got, Spemo?
Eli Apple quoted that tweet, Stefon Diggs, the criticized tweet, and he said Cancun on 3.
Hey, that's true. Both things can be true.
What did he say?
Eli Apple, cornerback for the Bengals, quoted that tweet and said Cancun on 3.
Eli Apple blows.
He sucks.
I hate that guy so much.
You know what's funny?
He's the NFL's Patrick Beverly.
Yeah. You know what's funny is we're sitting here talking about Diggs and D-Max like he's a real one and stuff like that, and then Eli Apple's got to jump in there like he's got something to say or something to do or anything like that.
His middle name ain't Toast.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
But again, to the point there, Eli Apple chirping me, that means nothing.
No.
Did his mom write that tweet?
Diggs is getting some heat in our chat thread. Rad says Diggs gave up on a couple balls. He should have been yelling at himself. Your mom's favorite skater says that Diggs is a diva. And
all wide receivers are divas.
To some degree,
except for Calvin, which is wild.
Yeah, Calvin kept it real. It's just I think he's right though. But is he right? Why do we criticize his actions way more than we criticize the result? They scored 10 points at home, man. Yeah. And Josh Allen was mid on Sunday.
Yeah, and when you're Stefon Diggs, basically when he arrived in Buffalo is when they sort of took that next step as an offense. He kind of was that number one receiver for Josh Allen. And when you're a wide receiver, when you're a number one, when you're a part of an offense that scores 10 points in a divisional round playoff game at home in a very disappointing fashion, as a wide receiver, you only have so much control. You can get as open as you want, but Josh Allen had a bad day that day. He was overthrowing balls constantly. He had a couple to Stefon Diggs that I can think of off the top of my head. So Stefon Diggs is probably thinking, I did my job. But when you're a wide receiver, it's dependent on the quarterback to throw you the ball. And that's something that I think gets lost on people. I'd love to talk to Braylon Edwards about that later. It doesn't matter how well you do your job.
Because it's such a fine line, right? Yeah. And guys, let's be real, too. we're not talking about this, but it could have been talked about. Jameson Williams gets a little pissed when he doesn't get the football too. We've seen it. We've seen it. Is that factual?
Factual.
Yeah, 100%. That's factual. It's there. It's the nature. It's the nature of the business, and I think it's unique to them, not because they're drama queens or anything like that. It's because they're wholly dependent on somebody else to perform.
Yeah. I can't think of another position in sports which is more dependent on a quarterback getting you the ball. Like, you could run the perfect route, and the quarterback could miss you, overthrow you, like throw behind you. There's millions of different scenarios in which a wide receiver can make a great play and basically get no credit for it. And Stefon Diggs, he's probably thinking, if I was hit just maybe one or two more times, if one of those throws were on target, we probably could have won that game. I'm not saying they would have. I'm saying that's what he thinks, because he is one of the best receivers in the NFL, and he was as responsible, I think, as Josh Allen for this offense taking that step forward. I mean, when he got there, that's when Josh Allen took off.
And I'm probably going to butcher this, but Tragan Kier Studios in the Woodward Sports Chat said Larry Fitz wasn't a diva, and that's also true. And Larry Fitz is a top 4 wide receiver of all time.
Come on.
Stop it. All time.
Save that one for another time.
He has more tackles than drops in his career. End of story.
Well, we'll talk about that at another time. Remember that one though. Remember that one. Mike G real quick says poor Buffalo Bills. Maybe they need OJ at running back. That'd be a killer addition to their backfield.
Hey, they could really use OJ Simpson.
Give me Larry Fitz over T.O.
Stop. Oh my goodness.
That's foolery, and that will not be allowed.
Give me Larry Fitz over T.O. T.O.'s 5. Fitz 4.
Fitz is kind of a compiler.
All right, let's tap out of this real quick, and I can tell you about Comfort Foods at Big Boy. Wintertime Detroit's always better with the Comfort Foods from Big Boy. You can try the classic meatloaf, right, Spenny?
Give me the loaf.
Give that man some meatloaf. Or the Cajun Chicken Alfredo. What about breakfast? The stuffed potato pancakes are back. The Lumberjack, the Santa Fe Garden, or the Blockbuster. Stop by your local Big Boy today.
Love Woodward Sports? Love wearing clothes? Then you should be wearing Woodward Sports clothes. Check out our full line of merch at woodwardsports.com. Just click on Shop. We have all your favorite designs, like Dan Campbell kneecaps, Beverly Hills Golf, Woodward Golf, and of course, our own logoed out merchandise. Men, women, infants, kids all love Woodward Sports. Impress your friends. Impress your boss. Impress your dog. Buy Woodward Sports merch today.
When it comes to making your haircut truly an experience, there's no better place than Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men. Come to any one of our 26 Metro Detroit locations for an award-winning haircut experience and qualify for a chance to win a down payment for your dream home up to $200,000. Our precision haircut and talented stylists will have you looking good, feeling good, and give you a chance to change your life forever. Lady Jane's Haircuts for Men, open 7 days a week. Walk in anytime. It's wicked awesome.
3 NBA championships. Detroit fans were there. 11 Stanley Cups. Detroit fans were there. 4 World Series wins. Detroit fans were there. And that one Lions playoff win in 1991. Yeah, Detroit fans were there. Woodward Sports, where the fans are.
Ruhl here for Chili Peppers Tanning, where you find the cleanest salons in the D. Spotless, sanitized rooms and trained and certified tanning professionals. Join the Pepper Club. Get all the best deals. They beat the competitors' prices by at least $5. You can scoop up the Australian Gold Designer Skin Cal Tan and the official beauty lotion of Spencer Raxter, the Swedish Beauty Lotion.
Oh, yeah.
ChiliPeppersTanning.com. The hottest bulbs, the hottest deals, the darkest tans. They are your vitamin D headquarters. 27 locations. More on the way. One more time. ChiliPeppersTanning.com. Find out which one is closest to you.
Chili Peppers Tan.
Yay. Back at it. Big D Energy. Final segment of the show already?
Yes. Yeah, one pepper.
What happened? Like Detroit Mercy. What happened?
You got Watts.
Hey, that's what I'm saying. That's
this.
That's how it all went down. Dirty Dr. D, Isaac Bruce, and Marvin Harrison were not drama queens. Ask that guy in the car wash in Philadelphia if Marvin Harrison was a drama queen.
I was going to say Marvin Harrison was definitely...
Oh, that's right. You can't ask him anymore because the gum was owned by Marvin Harrison.
Oh.
What? Why that look on everybody's face?
Factual.
It literally says that on the screen right here. It's part of the case.
Factual.
Again, It's easy to be critical of me, but not be critical of the result. I'm using that in everyday life.
I know you will.
I just had an epiphany about that because I applied it in real life, and you know what? I dug it.
You did.
So Michigan, half a national title since face masks.
That is
It's easy to be critical of me, but not be critical of the result. This is gonna. I need a T-shirt.
You just created
The
a
difference
monster.
is it
I
wasn't
love it.
Michigan's fault. It's the way that it was set up back then. It was a vote. They were undefeated. Did
It
everything
wasn't
that they
Michigan's
could.
fault.
It wasn't. What more could they have done that season? Nothing. So dominant, undefeated, Rose Bowl championship. Nothing more they could have done.
They could have got the whole championship.
They could have.
What more could they have done?
I don't know.
Nothing.
Maybe
Obviously, the committee thought they could have done
Yeah,
something more.
maybe play a harder schedule, non-conference schedule.
That was a pretty like loaded schedule that year.
You looking it up right now, aren't you?
No,
I didn't know if you were. I didn't know if you were or not. Real quick, Spenny, the Pistons, by the way. Also, breaking news: I'll be on the radio call of the Pistons game against the Brooklyn Nets on Thursday night. So listen to your 30-plus affiliates in the state of Michigan. But speaking of the Pistons, I got this feeling in my gut they're going to end up with the number 2 pick. I got that feeling.
Now, I guess, are you more confident that they're going to get the number 2 pick, or are you more confident in the guy they're going to pick?
I think it's both on this one. I know which way I would go.
You think
on
it's Scoot the whole way?
I think so. Yeah, number 2, because
even
obviously
though-
Wembanyama's going 1 and he'll be gone. I got that feeling they're going to end up picking number 2, and we love the transaction more than we like the action. Certainly with what happened last night. Kill, I don't think that'll be the final score in the game. I don't think that'll be the case. But anyway. No, the Nets will not break 200 points in the game, guys. Like, come on here. But anyway, Mike Jason, Neal is a fine local broadcaster. so there is that. Spenmo, set it in stone, ma'am. You taking Scoot with the number 2 pick?
I'm calling Minnesota.
No. You got to pick.
You have to. Yes.
Okay. It crowds up the guard room. You all right with that?
Yes.
See, I'm all right with it, too. Because this is where Cade becomes valuable. Because Cade Cunningham can play the 3 and guard the 3. I think it's been lost since he got injured, and it's certainly been lost, D-Mac, with what's happened, recently in terms of the amount of points the other teams are scoring. But Cade Cunningham is a capable defender at the 1, the 2, or the 3. So it's Scoot for me. Get the talent, figure it out later.
That's usually what it is, I guess, where they're at, right? You want to stockpile the youth, get the talent, and then sort of put them together and sort of like, you guys figure it out. We'll figure out who plays best where, in what position, and just because you're going with the best talented guys and you have a roster of, high first-round picks, should have something there. The bigger concern, obviously, to me, isn't which way you're going to go compiling talent and obviously taking the best. It's who's going to coach these guys. Right?
Right.
That's the bigger question.
Troy Poppy says Golden State has 4 high-end guards, and they seem to do okay. I don't know that this is fair. Mark Walston, starting to question Weaver becoming the Phoenix Suns, have all the talent in the world, but let it go to other teams. Cade Cunningham's injury really, really hurt this year. Is that a fair statement, Spenny?
Yeah. Yes.
That's a pretty obvious one there, right?
Yes. Very, very, very big hit to the Pistons.
Where are we at with Weaver, Spenny?
Oh, I'm still good with Weaver.
Okay.
I'm still good with Weaver. He's got to start making some moves pretty soon, but I'm still good. We'll see what he does with head coach. We'll see what he does with that wing depth. But I'm good with him for sure.
Where are you at with the Sam Flannel?
I'm good with Weaver for now because this is when Cade Cunningham misses most of the year. It's kind of a lost season. Have I seen some things that I don't like giving up 150 points last night? Absolutely, but he needs a little bit more time. He needs a little bit more development for the younger players. I'm good with him for now, but I don't want to go through this again next year. I assume they won't with a healthy Cade, but no more death spiraling. This is the last time.
You're still on board, right, D-Mac?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
You cannot be. If you trust in the guy putting it together, I mean, and what did Terry tell us? Terry tells us that you also have to wait for the Bostons and the Milwaukees and all the top stars to sort of evolve. This is 5-6 years away. It'll be before that, so stockpile what you got. And because maybe you can move some of these younger guys. You know, we always talk about like the Killian Hayes and things like that, but you put yourself and give yourself enough options. So
because I don't think, people are talking about like the Bucks getting 150. People did really kind of gloss over. You see Jalen Duren's act yesterday?
Mm-hmm. Dude's a baller.
23 and 16, something like that. 23 points and 15 rebounds.
Yeah, no, he's good.
I'm just saying, he is going to be a star.
He's young, man.
He is going to be a star.
So it's just time. Nobody wants to. Everybody wants now.
Real quick before we get out of here, Spenny. Ask Spenny from Mike G. Did you have a sack dance in high school?
No, I just get hyped.
Yeah, when you get there so often, dude, you can't waste the energy.
Celebrate, man.
Yeah.
He'd be wasting his energy doing 8 sack dances.
I bet Spenmo was the king of the quarterback spinning back into him sack.
No, I hunted him down.
You went and got him?
Yeah,
you ran him down.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Did you have the mustache like that and the hair back then?
I did not. I had the hair.
Did you really?
Yeah, not the mustache.
Oh my God.
I made shit happen.
Can you bring in a picture? Do you have a football photo?
I can find one. Yeah.
Please have that for tomorrow, please.
All right, I'll try to find one.
We'll have that for you tomorrow. Appreciate everybody tapping in. WoodwardSports.com chat thread. For D-Mac, Sam Flannel, Spencer Baxter, my name's Neal Ruhl. Thanks for watching, everybody. Well, see you later.